Hello everyone and welcome to this Star Wars live and interactive art tutorial. We're going to focus on the iconic characters of the Star Wars and all these amazing little baddies. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button so you know when our next class is. And we're going to keep it very simple. So we're going to first draw Darth Vader, and then R2-D2, and then of course C-3PO. We're going to have some fun, and nobody be afraid. Grab your pen. We're going to go on this awesome journey, and it's a long time ago in a galaxy far away. We're going to go back to 1977, and let's start drawing. Now the first thing I want you to do is understand these simple shapes. So I'm going to do an upside down U and then a normal U. And what I'm doing is I want you to stay focused on these shapes. Now you know them already, so the W and an M, and when I say these, it makes it a lot easier for you to follow my instructions. So let's start on Darth Vader. And we're going to do a very large U like this, okay? So you got your pen and paper and you're feeling brave. Okay, now I want you to do a sort of line down here and a line down here. Now some of you are probably very nervous and have never drawn before. Don't worry. Thanks, Bob. He's written in to say he's having a good time drawing. That's fantastic. And now we're going to do another line that meets here, slightly curved. Okay, and I'm going to go at a pace that everyone can keep up with. And then we're going to do a stretched M like this. See, that's why we want to use letters. It's much easier to understand the shapes that I'm using. Now we're going to use an O, and I think you all know what this is already. It's one of Darth Vader's eyes. And another one. And let's color that in, shall we? To his dark soul. Now if you're a fan of Star Wars, then this is definitely your opportunity to connect with other Star Wars fanatics. This is upside down U, and then we connect a line at the bottom. So write into the chat. I'm going to do a triangle now. It's upside down. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Okay. So that's our Darth Vader starting to grow on the page. Now we're going to do some lines, and they're going up to the bottom of the nose. I mean, as you all know, Darth Vader has to wear a special mask so that he can breathe. We're going to do another little O here and another little O there. And we're going to connect this line. Okay, we're not going to go too fast. All right, now, one thing I absolutely love about this helmet, we're just going to do another line here and a line here. And because I know you're all fans, I'm going to stick very close to the original drawing or character. So it's not a triangle, it's a square kind of shape. I don't know what you'd call that. If you're a mathematician, you probably know that shape. Okay, and now we're going to do a line under here, which is kind of his chin. So I love this sort of mix of skeleton, or the skull, and then this mechanical baddie. It's wonderful. Now we're going to draw a line that goes down here. So let's draw that about there, I think. And we're going to do the same over here on the other side. Okay. And then we're going to draw a line going across like this, but not too far. And another line going across like this, not too far. And a little C shape. There we go. Now we're going to put a big stretched out U there, and then another one underneath. So what's happening now is we've got the basic shape of Darth Vader, and I'm going to add some shade, and you're going to join me. Don't be afraid, and it's going to be awesome because I'm going to show you, even if you're a beginner, how to do reflection and light, which is one of my favorite little tricks. So here we go. We're going to go from the top, and we're going to do a nice big black shape here, and then a thin one next to it like that. I think you can already see that the reflections are starting to grow on the page. And then another shape like that. And because light is a bit unpredictable, light and shade is around us in different shapes, we can play around. So here we go. So now I'm just going to do a bigger shape around here. And we're going to go down like this on this side. Now don't worry if your lines are a little bit squiffy. It really doesn't matter. I think we're going to do another line across the top here. Okay, so now we're really getting the shape of Darth Vader. If this is too fast or too difficult, you can always write into me now. It's live and interactive. Or you can watch this video again and you can watch it again and watch it more slowly. Okay. Now, I'm going to do a line here. And it really is quite unpredictable, this light and shade. So you can really just have fun with it. Don't be afraid. I'm going to put a shape here, sort of like a rectangle on its side. And let's do a little bit of black around, and he has this kind of lines here. And then we're going around again his eyes. Okay. And let's go and outline this shape here. In 1977, the first Star Wars came out, and I'll give you a clue. I was a little girl when I queued up to see it for the first time. I must have been about 12 years old or something. Can you imagine how excited I was? I was standing there in my orange flares and braces, queuing to see this amazing movie. And the actual making of the movie was a story in itself. I think George Lucas had almost killed him. He wanted to buy the rights for Flash Gordon, and they wouldn't sell it to him. So he had already written Star Wars and decided to go ahead on his own. And that's how we ended up with this awesome Star Wars series. Okay, so I'm coloring in. Can you see how it's kind of unpredictable, the lines, but it's very effective. So all you have to do is watch me and copy me. Art is very exciting as long as you're not afraid. You can do anything. If you're not afraid to make mistakes, it will reward you. So just enjoy either watching this and not doing anything at all, it's up to you, or have a go and promise me you won't throw it away, because quite often when you look back at these drawings you think that actually wasn't that bad. So we tend to tell ourselves that we're no good at something. I'm just going to put a nice dark color. I think I like this color. And you mustn't listen. If you tell yourself you're bad at something, then your brain, your subconscious, wants to agree with you. And so it'll find an answer why you're such a bad artist or why can't you do something. So you've got to get over that and just trust yourself. I'm going to make this blue. We all have the ability to create, and thank goodness for George Lucas that he persevered. Okay, now there's lots and lots and lots of other characters that I'd love to draw for you, so we're going to carry on this series. I feel like I need a grey in here somewhere, so I'm just going to put a grey in here. So feel free to press the notification button and you will be notified when my next art tutorial. And we've got Wookiees, we've got Han Solo, Princess Leia. I'm not going to do Princess Leia today, only because we've got some easier characters to build your confidence. Okay. So I hope you like your very scary Darth Vader, and now we're going to start on another character. Let's have a look. We're going to try, oh no, sorry, I'm going to go back. We're going to draw R2-D2. Let's draw R2-D2. So this might look challenging, but now that your confidence is up, we're really going to draw something that is way better than you expected. So let's get started with this drawing. Okay, I'm going to talk you through it. There will be some shapes that are to do with the alphabet, so you know exactly what you're drawing, and you just need to follow my instructions. Okay, so the first thing we do is an upside down U or a C, whatever you feel like. Okay, let's get that there, perfect. And then a line across. Now you can make that line straight or slightly curved. Now we're going to go down, and I'm very lucky because I've got this awesome app and it straightens the lines for me. You probably don't have that, but just bear with me. And don't get frustrated because this is probably your first time. Okay, and just below that line on the left, you can stick this out here. And these are going to be the legs of R2-D2. Excellent. And then we're going to go down again, just a little bit further this time. Okay. Super duper. May the force be with you as you draw a straight line. Okay, now I'm just going to do that familiar shape at the bottom for the feet. And then we're going to put a rectangle, a long stretched out rectangle there. Okay, and then with drawing, you often want to tell a story. So what I mean by that is, we know that R2-D2 has 3 legs, and the third one is back here. So we're going to draw the other leg here. Okay, so now we know that he's not going to fall over. And that is actually quite an important part of drawing. People don't realize that, but if you have the shade in the wrong place and from where the sun is shining, it looks a bit odd. So we do try to keep that in the back of our minds. Now we're going to do a little circle here and another one here with a little circle inside. So an O and then another little O inside. Okay, and now let's do some of the details. So we know that there's this kind of shape at the top, and we'll color that in blue if you've got some blue pens, but don't worry if you don't. And then we've got all these kind of rectangles going on and squares. And the beauty of being an artist is you really can improvise. You can make an impression. If you look online, you'll quite often find artists have their own idea of characters for Star Wars. So there are no rules in art, and you can draw R2-D2 pink with pink flowers. It's really your world. You can do whatever you want. Okay, so I'm going to draw another rectangle here, very mechanical. And we're going to color these little pieces in blue. We can do these shapes. It doesn't really matter. We just know this is a robot and we want these characters, these shapes, to kind of represent R2-D2 as close as we can, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. There's a wonderful book by some crazy artist who illustrated the interiors of all the spaceships in Star Wars. And so you can see the sort of kitchen and the bedrooms and all these crazy laundry rooms, and it's just the detail. The detail is amazing. And apparently George Lucas hired Boeing engineers to design a lot of the spaceships. So I'm just adding lines here and everywhere just to make it look more mechanical. I'll just shrink this, bring this up a bit. There we go. And so we might use some different colors, some other gray pens in a minute. Let's color in the blue. And let's see what color. I've got loads of colors to choose from. I quite like that one. And we're going to color that in these areas. So color that in. Right. Of course, you can write in, make a request, ask when the next art tutorial is for Star Wars, and also we'd love to see your drawings. So if there's some children drawing right now, please send us your beautiful drawings. They mustn't be hidden away, they must be shown off. I think I bored my parents to death with showing my drawings to them every 5 minutes. They were very patient. All right, so it's really starting to look like our wonderful character. I'm going to add some light gray, maybe a slightly darker gray, this gray. And we're going to put in those little other details. So let's do some more rectangles. There we go. And another one down this side. So we're going to do an Ewok as well if we have time, and I'm going to show you how to draw fur, which is something we all artists have to learn to do. And fur is actually super easy, but often people are not quite sure. So my job is to make you feel confident. Okay, I'm going to put another grey line here. That grey isn't too black. So I think we're pretty much there. Few more lines. All right, a few more boxes here. Let's do a few more. And we can make them even smaller, and then a bigger one here. And let's do some lines underneath. And I like to put some shadow underneath our wonderful robot hero. What a hero. And if you want, we can do some gray on the top here. Now that sounds a bit odd, like why would I do that? But I'm just going to show you a little trick on the shadow. something I was talking about earlier. So we're going to imagine that the perfectionist in me, we're going to imagine that the sun is coming from this side, and let's put some lighter grey. Let's do this on this side. And there we go. So now we've got a lovely sort of round feeling, and we're going to do that also with, if we go and do the Death Star. There we go. Okay, so we've got that covered. We've got a bit of a story. We've got shadow underneath. We know that there's light coming in. Don't forget, this is an art tutorial. So now we're going to go and do reflection of C-3PO's amazing gold metal robotic outfit. So let's do that right away. And I'm going to add a little page there. Let's get the right pen. Right. So here we are. We're going to do his head. And I hope you're all feeling very brave, because now we're really going to go for it with the shine. And that's, here we go. So now that you're much better at drawing an upside down circle, let's do it again. And what's fascinating about this particular character is that his eyes are round like this, and they look quite spookily close, but you've got to place them in the right place. So here's our O's, and we're going to now do a circle in the middle. So that does look quite spooky, but for some reason the designer got it absolutely right. Now we're going to do a C like this over his eye, and then we've got a C like this over his other eye. So this is a C that's facing downward. Okay. All right, and then we've got this funny shape where it comes in a little bit. We're going to do that on either side, and then another C like that that goes towards his nose, which goes up like that. So there we go. Okay, so that looks quite creepy, but wait until we put in the shade and it will really, really work. So we're going to go down a little bit, and we're going to put his mouth in around about here. And in the details, his mouth is a bit more like this. So again, it still looks super creepy, but trust me, we'll get it right once you see the shading. Okay. And then we've got this sort of two lines here and his chin. So we're going to do a very wide U. Okay, you can see now it's starting to look like him. All right. The other thing is we're going to go and follow this line up here, but it's going to be more like a point with a little bump at the top. And then we come down again this side. So this should do it. And then he's got these sort of boggly shapes, which is great because there's a lot of curves and it's quite hard to draw all these curves. And we're going to bring his face in a bit here on either side, little slight lines that come straight in, and then we're going to curve it under his chin. And you're really becoming quite a skilled artist now. Okay, and we'll bring that in, and then I don't know how well you know his shape, but it kind of goes a bit like this. Right, now we've got his thin neck. I've always wondered if the actor who plays him was on contract to always be on a diet, otherwise he couldn't play this role, fitting into this outfit. Okay, and then we're going to do the collar. and then he has these quite broad shoulders, and then we'll do some lines here. There we go. So let's see how this can change when we start adding this awesome shading. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is pick a gold color, of course, and we're going to start putting that in here in a kind of line on one side. So we're not putting the whole face as gold, because we do want to keep some white in this picture. Okay, so I'm doing little marks of gold willy-nilly. It sounds a bit odd, but that is the thing about reflection. We're not reflecting off an area that is mechanical. We're reflecting off trees, light, off the sky, so we can really add these yellows anywhere we want, really. And now I'm just going to add some more. I'm going to make a funny shape here. Why not? Reflecting off somewhere else. Okay, now I'm going to take this color and I'm going to go a little bit darker. And let's do that here. And again, quite all over the place. And there's a little bit of that darker color here. So now you can see how the reflection works. I'm going to go even darker in some areas. Okay, and I think there's a little bit of a dent there, and we mustn't forget that nose. And there's a bit of a line here as well. Now, of course, you want to practice as much as you can, and a trick to doing that is you get online and find the things that you love and draw and draw and draw. If you've got time, practice is the only way you're going to get better. But if you're drawing something that you already love, like Star Wars characters, you can't go wrong. Okay, so I'm actually going to do a much lighter yellow color now. Okay. And we've got a bit of that color in here. And believe it or not, his eyes are orange. So we're going to do that in a minute, and that's where you'll see he starts to really look like C-3PO. Okay. Right, so we've got lots of different colors going on in here, and I've left white where the light is really reflecting. Okay. Let's put in those orange eyes. Let's find that orange for you. There we go. We haven't finished yet because there are some lighter orange colors in the reflection. Okay, so there we go. And we can even put in some lines if you're a perfectionist, but I think we're pretty much there now. And well done. If you gave it a go, it's a start. It's the first step is the hardest, and very excited to see your work. Okay, so the last one is the Death Star, if you're keen to see some more. I've got 1 minute left, so let's do that, shall we? Okay, Death Star. Now, this is a lovely one. I haven't had any challenges yet, so I will draw this for you, and you can learn a little bit about light and shade to finish off your art tutorial on Star Wars. Okay, so we know this is the Death Star. I'm just going to save time by drawing, adding color, and we're going to make some more color, but we're going to lighten it up a little bit. So here we go. So we know that the Death Star has a circle in the middle where it shoots its laser beam. And as you can see, there's light coming off that side of where the sun must be reflecting off it. And we'll just do a little bit down this side, because what happens, you'll see when I add the stars and the background. So let's have some fun with that. I'm going to now add a little bit of light on this side. And I'm just touching the surface of the paper very, very lightly. So I don't want to press too hard. Okay. So now that's a very recognizable shape of the Death Star. Okay, and I'm going to add a little bit more light to this side. And we know just by looking at that is where the sun is coming from, and on the other side it's not capturing the light. So I'm now going to do a background that is going to be black, and we have our Death Star in space, and I'm just going to tidy up this side so it looks more round. Lovely. And we're going to put some stars in the background, so let's have some fun with my favorite button. Not too many, I'll make them some a bit smaller. And there we have our Death Star. And some even smaller ones. I don't know if you can even see those. Okay, so I'm hoping you've enjoyed your Star Wars art tutorial. I hope you've joined in and had a go. I'm very proud of you, even though I can't see your work, so please send your artwork to us, to the Quick to Draw YouTube channel. And if you subscribe and press notifications, you'll know when our next Star Wars tutorial, live, interactive, is on, and it should be next week, 2 weeks. Just we can let you know. Thank you again, and we will see you next time. All the best, and may the Force be with you.